Ground in Mexico. I'm joined by Jorge Ramos, Univision news anchor and the author of Real America on Facebook Watch. Jorge, thank you very much for being here today. You know, I want a report today from the Washington Post.
Great to be here.
Said that, glad to have you with us, that many of the people that they talked to, that the Washington Post talked to, they told the reporters that they had already been deported several times from the United States and that they were going to try to make it back in again, many of them, to try to meet up with family members. They said that they would try to run in between the border guards at places that they know are porous along the United States border. And one of them was quoted as saying, that's how it is. They catch you and you try to get back. What kind of system is that?
Well, maybe they're only talking to people who speak English. Yes, of course, I've talked to some of them who have been deported, but the majority. ¿Alguno de ustedes ha estado en Estados Unidos antes? ¿Ha estado en Estados Unidos? ¿Ha estado en Estados Unidos?
Los que vienen allá.
None of them have been in the United States before, so some of them, yes, have been deported, but the majority not, Martha. And something really important is that the vast majority of these people are not criminals, they're not terrorists, and they're not even immigrants. They're refugees, and as a nation in the United States, we have to choose what kind of nation we are and treat them with respect. We cannot prejudge them. We cannot say all of them are criminals, all of them are rapists. That is not true. So what we have to do is to listen to them, hear their cases, and if they deserve political asylum, then grant it to them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, according to one estimate by the Gallup World Poll, 57 million people in Latin America and the Caribbean would like to come to the United States. But do you recommend that they should all be allowed in? I mean, at what point is there, you know, how is this going to work? Leave the border open, everyone, just out of the goodness of everyone's hearts, welcome in 57 million people eventually?
No.
So what do you recommend?
No, I'm not for open borders. I understand what you're saying, Martha, but I am not for open borders. I think that the immigration system that we have right now is simply not working. It's not working for everyone. Trump's immigration policy is a complete failure. It hasn't worked. Enforcement only doesn't work. And what we need is a legal immigration system that really works. Now, despite the optics, I know that if you are in the United States and you are watching this,
right,
you might think, oh, we're going to be invaded. That is not true. There's no invasion here. We're talking about 7,000 right now, maybe a few thousand more, trying to cross the border between Mexico and Guatemala.
Yeah, but Jorge,
some of them are going to make it to Texas.
I understand,
some of them are going to make it to California.
You can't
but at the end, this is the truth. There's only 11 million people in the United States who are undocumented, and that has remained stable for the last decade, Martha.
Yeah, well, but the problem is that it's a law-breaking environment. You're not allowed to just cross the border. You're not allowed to go up and find the openings at the border where there's no border patrol agents and sneak your way through and, you know, put your foot on the property and then become the responsibility of the U.S. government. It simply doesn't work. And what's being asked is for Latin America and Mexico to take their share of the burden and to manage this problem and perhaps to find a way to improve their own economy so that everybody doesn't want to flood out.
I agree with you, and I think Mexico has done its part. President Peña Nieto, unfortunately for many immigrants, Mexicans and Central Americans, the Mexican police has become Trump's immigration police. That's the truth.
What do you mean by that? We watched the fence. No, hold on. We watched the fence between Guatemala and Mexico be overrun. No, it doesn't appear that there was any attempt by the Mexican police to really handle this situation.
Mexican police tried to prevent.
Well, it doesn't seem like
Mexican
they're up to the
police
task,
tried to prevent some immigrants to pass by, and you know, immigration is fluid, and instead of going through a bridge, they use the river, and here they are. So it didn't work, and President Peña Nieto tried to become Trump's police and just simply didn't work. What President Trump is trying to do right now...
Why doesn't he be Mexican's police? Why not Mexico's police? This is your problem. I'm sorry.
It's the worst he can do. Because, let me just finish this and I'll let you talk.
Okay.
Simply because if you put more pressure on Central America, more people like this are going to try to come to the United States.
Yeah, well, you know, obviously there's a big problem with the economy and with the Mexican ability. It's not Trump's police. I mean, Mexico has its own police department. they have a responsibility to deal. You guys in Mexico, they deport tens of thousands of people every year back across that border. But let me ask you this. In terms of the people that are coming now, the caravan, which just keeps growing and growing, why now? Why now? Why did this all come to pass and this group growing in numbers by the day? Why now?
Well, I think it has to do, it started with social media, as it would happen in any other part of the world. And it's so interesting because I didn't see any conspiracy here or any collusion or Democrats or Republicans participating in this. Absolutely not. What has happened is that once people in Central America, especially in Honduras, once they learned that one caravan was going north, they decided to join for two reasons. First, safety. They are not risking being raped or being vandalized on their way from Central America to the United States. And then it has to do with money, Martha, simply money. If you live in Honduras or Guatemala and you want to go to the United States, you got to pay a coyote or a smuggler, maybe $6,000, maybe up to $7,000. But if you are part of this caravan, you won't pay anything. So I think it has to do with safety, and it has to do with money. And that's what we have right now, about 7,000 people in Mexico already, and a few thousand more waiting at the Guatemala border.
Yeah, very interesting. Jorge, thank you. Thank you very much.